Hello everyone, I'm NGC, and in today's video, I'm going to be ranking every Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. Now, before we start, let's go over some rules. First, these are my opinions. Second, I will be including the Larry Jefferson's books in this video. And finally, the most recent Diary of a Wimpy Kid book that has come out as of me making this video is Type Overload. So that means I won't be including No Brainer. Don't worry, I'll make a review on it and say where I put it in this video. Now, with that out of the way, let's begin. Now, the first book is great, but not my favorite. I really liked the Halloween part and the comic part. Both of these were really good. Also, I like the whole idea of people being scared by a piece of cheese. And when someone touches it, they have the cheese touch. So basically, the whole book is about this kid named Greg Heffrey and his best friend Larry Jefferson going to middle school and getting into a few disasters like going on safety patrol, a school parade, and all that stuff. So overall, this book was great. This book is also great, but better than the first book. Roderick was really good in this book. Also, I love the plot of Greg and Roderick trying to hide a party from their parents, Susan and Frank, and the ending was so good. So overall, this book is great and my second favorite book in the series. This book is pretty good. I really like how Greg gets stuck in a hotel in his underwear. I mean, I didn't like the scene where Greg gets misunderstood by Gregory, and it took a while to get to the plot, but everything else about this book was pretty good. This book is great. It's better than The Last Straw, but not as good as the original. Still, I like how this book takes place in summer. The carnival scene was great. Sweetie the dog was very funny, but the ending to this book was alright. So overall, this book was great. Now, I just found this okay. I like how Greg can't go to a party and has to go to Uncle Gary's wedding. By the way, Uncle Gary was really good in this book, and I like the family members. Also, when Greg had to mine an egg for the school project, that was good. Even though the beginning and ending were meh, everything else was okay. So overall, not bad or good, but alright. This book is great. The one problem about this book is that Manny was so annoying. Who is the youngest brother in the family? And maybe it takes a while to get to the part of this book, but everything else about this was great. So overall, another great book. Now, this book is alright, but it was a bit annoying. Like, on the one hand, Greg getting rejected was harsh, but on the other hand, he kind of deserved it. Now, Uncle Gary was funny, and this was an okay way to make a Valentine's Day book. So, overall, it's just okay. Now, I just did not like this book. Now, it's not that bad, but it was pretty annoying. Larry was so annoying in this book. But still, I really liked how this time it's kind of an Easter book. Anyway, the rest of the book is not interesting. Okay, so out of the 3 road trip books we got so far, this is my favorite. I like the plot of this book where Greg and his family go on a road trip. But Manny and the pig in the book were very annoying. But I did like the Beatles and the ending. So overall, pretty good book. Okay, decent book, but there are some parts I did not like. The lemonade stand was alright, the camp was funny, and I really liked how Greg and some other people run away from doing a cleanup in the park. So overall, this book is just decent, but there were some scenes that were boring. This book was alright. I did like the ending with the movie scene Greg and Larry did, but it kind of feels like there's not really a plot, but multiple storylines, which was okay. I also did like the whole school balloon project in it. That was good. So overall, this book is just alright. Now, this book was decent. The location was really good, and I like how Greg and his family go to some beach place instead of celebrating Christmas, like in the other books. Also, the beginning and ending were good. So overall, this book was just decent. Now, this book is really good. Like, this is my third favorite book in the series. The part where Greg and Larry are having a snowball fight with the neighborhood, and then they team up to beat the other neighborhood. And then the both neighborhoods team up to defeat the Girl Scouts and the Mingle Kids, which was probably the best part to a book ever. So overall, a great book. This book was okay. Now, I don't like how the neighbors were charging the family to the damages and how this book leaves on a cliffhanger, but everything else was good. Also, this book is really sad, but there are some funny jokes, and the plot of trying to move houses were good. So, overall, okay book. Now, I heard some people say this book sucks before reading it, but it was decent. Now, it's the worst road trip book, and it felt like we didn't need any more, but the places and disasters in this book look pretty good. Also, Manny was good for once. So, overall, decent. Now, I like how Greg had to win a basketball game and wins it for the other team at the end, which was good. But it was really boring in the beginning and it felt like filler. So, overall, pretty good book, but sometimes it felt like it was just filler. So after 14 years, we finally have a sequel to Roger Gross. And this book slaps in a good way. The book focused more on Roderick instead of Greg, which is something new. Also, the pizza place and the band breakup was good. Also, the ending is my favorite ending to any Dive Wimpy book. So overall, a masterpiece. Now, with all of the Dive Wimpy books out of the way, we can move on to the Larry Jefferson books. And to be honest, it started off pretty bad. Like, who wants to read a book where Greg is a bully to Larry? Like, I felt bad for Larry in this entire book. So, overall, garbage. This book is great. I like how Larry writes a fairy tale and him and Greg talk about it. Like, it's like they're analyzing the book after each chapter. That was really good. Also, my favorite character in the story Larry writes is probably Sherlock Gnomes. So, overall, this book is great, and I would really like to see a sequel. Okay, this book was pretty good. Almost every single story in this was great. My favorite one, by the way, is probably the Mummy one. So, anyway, like, the rest of the stories were good, but I just still take off to my favorite. I don't know, but anyway, overall, pretty good book. And that's it for this video. Overall, my favorite book was Type Overload, and my least favorite was Larry Jefferson's Journal. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.